Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Join me as I smoke multiple briskets. Stay tuned. So the very first thing that I look for whenever I'm looking for a brisket is marbling. Marbling is a fancy word for fat, right? But this fat is not this fat that's on the outside that's probably not going to render, or some of the surface fat. What the marbling is they're talking about is this fat that is trapped in between the muscle fibers. So the second thing I look for is I try to get a brisket with as least amount of non-rendable fat as possible. Rendable fat's the one that's going to melt away during this. Most of it is going to melt away during your smoke. The other thing that I look for, how pliable or how flexible is this thing? Because if this thing is as stiff as a board, that means that there's a lot of this non-rendable fat, the fat that's not going to melt into your meat. So the best thing to do here is try to get one that's pliable, that can move up and down. That tells you that there's a lot of rendable fat in here. And the last thing that I look for in a good brisket is I try to get them as uniform as possible. Keeping this uniformity is very important because while you're smoking, this part of the brisket, the thinner part, is going to end up coming out sooner than the rounder part. I recommend getting some type of container that you're going to be able to stick this in the refrigerator, because this is going to stay overnight. Now this is one of the main reasons I tell you guys to do your homework before you buy a brisket, because this doesn't have a lot of this hard fat that I need to trim off. I'm pretty much going to leave it. I try to purchase briskets that I'm going to do little to no trimming. This one I'm not going to do any trimming to it. So when you're going to do multiple layers of briskets, if you're going to put them on the same container, first thing you want to do is you want to get it on the fat side and use your favorite rub. I use Rudy's rub. This one has always been good to me. I do have a link on the description below where you can get some of these products. So if you do that, I am an affiliate with most of these product companies, so that actually helps me out. But we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning this brisket. Fat cap first. Be generous, but not too generous on your fat cap, because some of this, or a good portion of this, is going to not render. All right, so welcome back. This is my setup. I am gonna be doing low and slow with these babies. I already put in my briskets into my smoker. I've loaded up my hopper over here. It's a gravity fed hopper, so I loaded it up with charcoal and wood chunks. I already lit it up. It's been going for about 30 minutes, which is what I need. I did put Kingsford charcoal, and I also use this masterbuilt fire starter to get the fire going. A lot of the products you see, I have a link on the description below. If you click on that link, I'm an affiliate with most of these products, and that helps me out with my channel. So if you have a chance, support the channel by clicking on some of those links. Other than this, I wanted to go over a couple more things that you should do to any smoker. It doesn't have to be this type of smoker, it can be any other smoker. First and foremost, you do want to have some water. I have a water pan there. The other thing that you can do is I put a foil down there just to make my cleanup a little bit easier. The placement of the brisket. So these briskets, the thicker part, the round part, is on this side because this is where my heat source is. And because I'm going to be doing two briskets, I put one fat side up and then the other one fat side down. The other thing that you want to do is you want to be monitoring your temperature. I do have this signals and the Billows system over there. This two in tandem make my smoking that much easier. I don't have to come out as much to be checking on the meat. It kind of regulates the temperature on its own. We're going to be smoking at 240, and we're going to be looking for an internal temp of about 200 to 205. So we're 4 hours in. The internal temperature of my brisket is 154. Let's see what these guys look like. Oof. Oh. That's nice color coming in there. My water pan looks like I need to refill it. It's already going down. And my drip tray down there seems to be doing its job. So we've been smoking now about 10 hours. Let's go ahead and open it up, see what they look like. Alright, so we got some nice color to both of them. This is where I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out and wrap it. The reason I'm gonna wrap it is because I want it to keep that color, keep the bark the way it is, still continue to smoke, but not necessarily get any more darker than this. We're at 9 or 10 hours. We're about 10 hours in, and the internal temperature right now is 180 degrees. We're shooting for a temperature of 205. All right, so as I was pulling these out, I caught on to something. I just wanted to show you guys. It looks pretty cool. Look at all that juice just hanging out on top. It's a real good sign that it's gonna be nice and tender and juicy brisket. I am gonna be using pink butcher paper. Get yourself a nice healthy section. This thing will be a little warm, so I would recommend you get yourself some meat handling gloves. Take it over. So here what you want to do is you want to go ahead and wrap it as tight as possible. So they're back in the smoker. So the brisket's already hit 205. So what I'm gonna do for the next step is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull them out, and I'm gonna put them in a cooler and let them rest. Minimum of 2 hours, but you can get away with resting them 3, even up to 4 hours if you want. Depending on your cooler, you might be able to get away with doing it even a little bit longer. This step in the process, it's an important one. Don't skip it, because right now your brisket just came out of the smoker, but it needs some time to rest, to let the muscle fibers kind of relax a little bit, so that you can go ahead and slice it up and be tender. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put them in the cooler here. Once it's in the cooler, you let it rest, and then we'll slice it up.